Hi, I'm going to talk about the history of the history and the culture in Mexico. The history is like in the country itself is both exciting and really sophisticated. Many historian people in manuscripts in ancient Mexican cultures, such as Aztecs and the Mayans, they began in the 20 BCs, and the hunters gather from Asia and Africa. They migrate to the west, and they basically did their own culture. They cultivate their own food, such as corns, beans, and any kind of vegetables. Um, through the period to the period in Mexico, nomadic tribes settled permanently in the country in agricultural, and then made cultural groups such as the Olmecs and the Teotihuacans, and they discovered a lot of urban in the new world, like the economy. The economy they grew up in the strength in powerful groups. The Toltec, the Mayans, the Mixtecs and the Aztecs. They went through a period of a Spanish conquistadors in where they were had a powerful urban cities and urban centers. Um, Tenochtitlan was captured first by the Spanish army under Hernán Cortés. They developed and started the abolishment of slavery. They grew the Christianity and established schools, universities, and art and any academic in arts through the country. In the early 19th centuries, the War of Independence, led by Miguel Hidalgo, it began after, I would say, 11 years when they start fighting our first independence. Then the first independence Mexico government was founded and Agustin de Iturbide became the first emperor of Mexico. So many keys of religious and figures in Mexico. One of the most important keys in religious in Mexico is the religion. The Catholic religion is based on the indigenous people of Mexico, was the Virgin of Guadalupe, whose stories began back in 1531, 12 years ago by Hernan Cortes. First, it was started in December 12, 1531, and the story goes of a part Indian named Juan Diego. He was walking along the side, and somehow he started seeing things. So it was a lady from coming from the skies, and then she basically was giving a message to him, saying that a message passed it along to the rest of the people in Mexico. So it was a beautiful woman, and the vision began to build more in the church, and of course, officials and citizens, they didn't want to believe that it was something like a ghost or something going on, but it was real. The Virgin Mary, she was actually asked by Juan Diego to pass along her message to everybody. So everybody gathered, and when the last time she came up, she to San Diego, I'm sorry, to Juan Diego, she basically told Juan Diego to watch her mantle, and then when he opened it, it was a bunch of 12 roses painted, and she basically wanted to let everybody know how she basically was more like the image, like, on herself, and how special she was to be, appear. So they make her a day in December 12th, one of the dates that is celebrated by her. So we make a big party in December, like we celebrate, we with a lot of authentic Mexican food and Mexican dancing and stuff. Some of the Mexican countries around the area, some of the states, I'm sorry, some of the states, they have diverse of food. Some of the recipes in different regions, they have really good food. Um, for example, the state of Jalisco has temple of table is of tortas, which is really good. It's a bread with meat, and then you put lettuce, tomato, onions, anything. It's like a Subway kind of thing in the United States, but it's more kind of like more spicy, more Mexican, more like I would say it's really good. Most of another of the recipes, they have like the peanut butter and cocoa is served with over the chicken. It's made in Yucatan, Mexico. It's a really good recipe, and actually the native Mayas, they actually created with the turkey, and they actually put some spinach and eggs with it. In the area, a lot um, a lot of most of the ingredients are made by the Indians, which is really good. Another thing, some of the folkloric dancing, it involves in a lot of in Mexico, a lot of states have different folkloric dances that diverse around the area. Most of them have traditionally, they involve traditionally in honoring the Mexican culture. They represent some of the struggles and joys of the daily Mexican life, which involves the celebration and religion of cultural rituals, festivals, and that celebrate through people in the place. Most of them, for instance, they have the Jarabe Tapatío, that's basically dancing that celebrates in Jalisco through many years, and then it's actually considered the synonymous of the Mexican dance itself. It's a dance of one of the most beloved dances from in Mexico. A traditional dancing that is considered the national dance of Mexico. So that's one of them. The second of them is La Danza del Venado, which is ritual dance from performed by the tribe. It's like the Mayans, the Indians, and they actually illustrate a deer that's hunting with the dancer wearing wooden mask and impersonating deer and hunters. So it's really like a ritual dance in Mexico. Another dance is the a popular one is the ballerina. Is a dance game by Pavlova. It's like incorporated in the like mariachi, and it's basically just one solo person that dances in front of everybody, and it's like a really sophisticated dance in Mexico. Well, I pretty much cover a little bit of everything of the Mexican culture. I basically important factors. It was their religion, how the Mexican food, how we have diverse Mexican food, and the folk of most of the dances also. In conclusion, I think Mexico is a really good, beautiful place to go and spend time alone and with your family, and if you want to go to vacation and stuff and explore more about the Mexican culture and their different artistics that they have. One of the things that I recommend is to go to the Cancun, Acapulco beaches, and any fun stuff that you wanna into. That's concluding my speech, and that's about a little bit about the culture of Mexico.